I just found a Porsche that costs less than a used Honda Civic, $3,000. And at the other end, there's one that sold for $20 million. Same brand. But here's what nobody tells you. The $3,000 Porsche might actually be the better investment. Stick around because I'm revealing which Porsche you can buy right now that'll be worth 10 times more in 20 years. And it's not the one collectors are hoarding. Today, we're breaking down every single Porsche you can buy, from beat-up project cars to multi-million-dollar hypercars. Whether you've got $3,000 or $3 million, there's a Porsche with your name on it. Let's go. $3,000 to $10,000. The working man's Porsche. You've got less than $10,000 but want that Stuttgart crest. Good news, you can pull it off. Bad news, you better know your way around a wrench. Your best bet is the Porsche 924 from the late 70s and early 80s. Yeah, it's got a Volkswagen engine, not a proper flat six, but for around $5,000, you get Porsche handling, perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and a car that'll teach you more about driving than any modern sports car. Want more grunt? Look for a 944. It's basically a 924 that hit the gym. Proper Porsche engine making 150 horses. Sweet spot is 1985 to 1989. But here's the catch. Interference engines. Skip that timing belt service and your pistons meet your valves. Budget $1,500 every 5 years. The real gem in this price range? The first generation Boxster, the 986. Everyone dumps on these because of the IMS bearing issue, but think about it. A mid-engine flat six Porsche Roadster for $7,000. That's insane. The IMS thing is overblown. Most are fine. $2,000 gets you the fix. After that, you've got a modern Porsche with airbags and creature comforts for less than $10,000 all in. $10,000 to $50,000. The sweet spot. This is Porsche's golden zone. Cars old enough to be affordable but new enough to be reliable daily drivers. The star here is the 996 generation 911, the one with fried egg headlights that purists hate. Here's a secret. Those purists are idiots. For $25,000, you get a genuine 911 with over 300 horsepower that'll do 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. Yeah, watch the IMS bearing on regular Carreras. But the 996 Turbo? Different story entirely. That's got the bulletproof Metzger engine from the GT1 race car. 15 horsepower, all-wheel drive, 190 miles per hour. Find one for $45,000 and you've stolen a supercar. Want something newer? The 987 Cayman and Boxster from 2005 to 2012 are absolute weapons. Early ones start around $20,000. Spring for 2009 or newer, Porsche fixed the IMS issue and bumped up power. A Cayman S from this era is probably the best pure driving machine for $40,000. Mid-engine balance, 320 horsepower, glorious flat six howl. It'll embarrass cars costing twice as much on twisty roads. This budget also opens up air-cooled 911s. A decent driver quality 911 from the mid-70s runs $30,000 to $40,000. No power steering, no driver aids, just you, the machine, and that air-cooled clatter. There's also the 928, Porsche's V8-powered Grand Tour from the 80s. Early ones are $15,000 cheap, but the one you want is a late S4 or GTS. 345 horsepower and one of the best interiors Porsche ever made. Now we're getting into serious territory. $50,000 to $150,000. Serious money. This gets you into modern 911 territory or seriously special older stuff. You can get a lightly used 991 or even early 992 generation 911 Carrera here. These went turbo across the board. Purists cried, but the cars are brilliant. Even a base Carrera makes 379 horsepower and cracks 60 in 4 seconds flat. Get a GTS or Carrera 4S and you're looking at 450 horses and supercar performance from 10 years ago. Plus, these can be daily driven. Adaptive suspension, modern infotainment, heated seats. But the real action? The GT cars. A 997 GT3 from 2007 costs around $100,000. 15 horsepower from a screaming naturally aspirated flat six that revs to 8,400 RPM. No turbos, no hybrid assist, pure mechanical fury. The 991.1 GT3 from 2014 to 2016 is even better. 475 horsepower and a 9,000 RPM redline. Yeah, $9,000 in a street car. They're holding around $130 to $140 grand. They're not getting cheaper. And then there's the 993, the last air-cooled 911 made from 1995 to 1998. A good one runs $90 to $140 grand. On paper, they're not that fast. 272 horsepower. A new Civic Type R would smoke it. But numbers don't tell the story. The 993 is about the experience, the mechanical precision, the rattle of that air-cooled engine, the smell of oil and leather. Values have gone crazy, but they're not coming back down. This is blue chip stuff, but we're just getting warmed up. The next level is where Porsches stop being cars and start being investments, $150,000 to $500,000. The collector's paradise. This is GT2 RS money, rare classic money. The 991 GT2 RS from 2018 is the most brutal 911 ever made. 700 horsepower, twin-turbo flat-six, rear-wheel drive only. Nürburgring lap time that embarrassed hypercars costing 3 times as much. They stickered at 93 grand. Most trade between $350,000 and $400,000. It's basically a street-legal race car. The GT3 RS models live here too. The 991.2 GT3 RS with 520 horsepower and massive rear wing goes for $250,000 to $300 grand. Not comfortable, not practical, but on a racetrack, untouchable. On the classic side, this gets you into real legends. A 1973 Carrera RS 2.7, the Ducktail, the Holy Grail. Only 1580 were made. Expect to pay $400,000 to $500 grand. It's a lot for 210 horsepower, but you're not buying horsepower, you're buying history. The 356 Speedster lands here too. The car that started America's love affair with Porsche in the 50s. James Dean had one, Steve McQueen had one. Now they're $300,000 to $500 grand. Performance is laughable by modern standards. 75 horsepower on a good day. But cruise down the Pacific Coast Highway with the top down and tell me you care about numbers. Now we're entering hypercar territory, $500,000 to $1 million. This is where Porsche competes with Ferrari and McLaren for poster space. The Carrera GT might be the greatest driver's car ever made. No traction control, no stability management. Just you, a 6-speed manual, and 603 horsepower from a screaming V10 that started as a Formula One engine. Porsche made 1270 between 2004 and 2006. They cost $448 grand new. Today, figure 800 grand to $1 million, maybe more for low-mileage examples. It's the last analog supercar, famous for being difficult to drive fast and absolutely ruthless if you get it wrong. But get it right, and nothing else comes close. The 959 is different. Back in 1986, it was the most advanced car in the world. All-wheel drive, twin turbos, 444 horsepower, active suspension. It was so advanced, it was illegal to import into America for years. Porsche built 292. They cost $225,000 in 1986 money. Today, they trade for around $1 million. The 918 Spider just sneaks in at the lower end. Porsche's hybrid hypercar. 887 combined horsepower from a V8 and 2 electric motors. They made 918 because Porsche loves numbered editions. Standard ones are about $1.2 million. Weissach package cars with lightweight goodies go for $1.5 to $2 million. Some special ones have sold for nearly $3 million. And now the absolute pinnacle, beyond $3 million. We reached the summit. The cars that trade privately between collectors who don't ask the price. The 917. The car that gave Porsche its first Le Mans win. The 956 and 962 that dominated endurance racing in the 80s. The street-legal 911 GT1 from 1998, of which only 20 exist. These are $5 million, $10 million, even $20 million machines. But they're more than cars. They're cultural artifacts, pieces of history that happen to have wheels. The 550 Spider. The car that put Porsche on the international racing map in the 50s. James Dean died in one. Only 90 were made. When they come up for sale, figure $2 to $4 million. It's got 110 horsepower and weighs as much as a motorcycle. By modern standards, it's a death trap. But by 50 standards, it was a giant killer. Buying one isn't just about driving. It's about being the custodian of something irreplaceable. So there you have it, From $3,000 to $3 million, there's a Porsche for every pocket. The question isn't whether you can afford a Porsche. The question is which Porsche you can afford and which one speaks to you. Because at the end of the day, it's not about horsepower or lap times or investment potential. It's about that feeling you get when you fire up the engine, slot it into first gear, and head for your favorite road. Whether it's a ratty 924 that barely runs or a pristine 918 Spider that could buy a house, every Porsche delivers that same core experience. The connection between human and machine, the pursuit of driving perfection, the addiction to that flat six sound, or the whine of a turbo spooling up. That's what Ferdinand Porsche understood when he started this company. That's what keeps us coming back. If this video opened your eyes to just how accessible Porsche ownership really is, smash that like button right now. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Which Porsche would you buy? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. Your Porsche is out there. Go find it. See you in the next video.